Hurry guys, get to your seats quickly, we're gonna be late to Pikuya's funeral. And you wouldn't want to miss that, since surely there's no way he could have possibly survived this bullshit. Surely. Anyway, we begin with another fucking Monokuma theater section. Yay! Awesome! And it starts off with Monokuma saying,
"Since your brains have probably got the storage capacity of a nap, I'm here to help make sure everybody's up to speed."
You can't make this shit up. They're not even trying to hide it. These writers have absolutely no faith in your memory or your intelligence whatsoever. So, if you recall from the end of the last episode, the entire building collapsed. There was a massive explosion in the lobby. The damn thing toppled over. This is a major cataclysmic event that should definitely lead to some major consequences for our characters inside the building, such as, I don't know, dying, and yet all we see them experience is a minor earthquake for a few seconds. They just get tossed around the room for a little bit until the shaking suddenly stops like nothing ever happened. Like the building didn't literally just collapse all around them. I was about to lose my fucking mind when I saw this happen, until I remembered the vanishing knife mark from the second episode. And I suddenly got a sinking feeling in the bottom of my stomach that some major bullshit was about to be revealed. And as it turns out, my gut feeling was correct, because 2 seconds later, Matt walks through the secret entrance and enters another room instead of exiting the building. Who could have guessed it? And in doing so, he discovers that they are actually in an underwater facility that happens to be an exact replica of the actual Future Foundation building, meaning that they are in an exact replica of the place that they thought they were at, only for it to be revealed as some other location entirely. Aside from blatantly ripping off your own content, how in the hell did the mastermind build this right under the noses of the crew constructing the actual building without anybody noticing? Do you know how long it takes to construct buildings, let alone construct something underwater? How could nobody have noticed this? This is utterly ridiculous. You are a joke show. There is no way in the world nobody saw them build this. You know, there's this crazy thing about water, and it's that you can see through it. Water is terrible at absorbing visible light. It's not like they were constructing underground in some secret base. They would have had to build this out in the open underwater. They would have had to ferry materials to this place. How could this have possibly stayed a secret? How could nobody know about this? Did nobody just fucking look down at the water while they were walking into the building? Not a single person? Fuck off, that is so stupid. So apparently the mastermind moved every single person that was knocked out from this building to the underwater facility. Well, I mean, except for the guards. They died. Why didn't they get to live exactly? Oh, is this so you can have exactly 16 people participate in a killing game? Of course it is. God damn it. Hey, here's the thought. If you're gonna go to the effort of knocking everyone out and moving them, why not move them entirely off the island? You clearly have the helicopters to be able to do so. It's only a matter of time before the Future Foundation arrives with their backup, so why would you even risk the possibility of them finding out about your underwater base? Also, apparently Kyoko was able to deduce that they were in the underwater facility without even seeing the fish tank room? How? How could you have possibly deduced that? It's reasonable to conclude that you've been moved somewhere after noticing the disappearing knife mark, but there is absolutely no way you could have possibly figured out that you were in a replica underwater facility. There were absolutely no clues you could have picked up on that would have reasonably led you to that conclusion, and yet she just automatically accepts it as the truth with no logical through line to it, any of it. So then we jump back to the Steel Samurai's battle with BB-8, who apparently lost a single one of her eyes during the battle, but no other part of her has been even remotely damaged. How? So then she stops playing Titanfall because she got bored of it and jumps over to the Spider-Man universe where she becomes Doc Ock. What is, So she unloads a barrage of rockets and missiles onto the Steel Samurai that should absolutely kill him, but nope, he dodges every single goddamn one of them, some fucking how, and effortlessly slices out Doc Ock's knees with his fire sword. Who wrote this? He says that apparently his new motive is that he doesn't want anyone else to suffer despair, and so, his brilliant solution to that problem is that he is going to murder everybody. What a fantastic and not at all contradictory plan, you moldy potato.
This would appear to be its CPU.
CPU? A CPU? You think that's a CPU? Do you fuckers have any idea what a CPU actually looks like? Congratulations, you've exposed yet another concept of which you lack even the most fundamental understanding. Then we get some dialogue that made me want to jump off a cliff.
The actions I've taken are not wrong.
You fucking Pringle! How can you say this with a straight face as you rip out the CPU of this robot and then proceed to mercilessly slice it in half, all because she was trying to protect Makoto and Hina? Where is your self-awareness, you dumbass show? So then Matt randomly bumps into the Steel Samurai and they walk off somewhere because I guess Matt gave up on his quest to murder everyone. Also, he doesn't feel like the fact that they are under the fucking ocean is at all worthy of being shared with the Steel Samurai. Cool. But then, to my absolute bewilderment, we get a genuine character moment for Kyoko. She tells Lassiter that they need to find Makoto, but then, since he's an asshole, he says, I don't know how much help he's gonna be. And this causes Kyoko to stop dead in her tracks. The cold and emotionless detective lets down her guard, just for a moment, to defend the friend who put his life on the line for her out of nothing but pure, unwavering faith in her plan to save the day. She stops everything to defend Makoto's name against this sack of unwashed mushrooms defaming him in front of her. Kyoko would have never let herself get this emotional for the sake of anyone prior to the events of the first game, and it's awesome to see how far she's come, only for it to be immediately ruined by this awkward as hell shot. But fortunately, we actually get another character moment for her immediately afterwards. It's one of, like, 3 scenes in the entire show where all 3 main characters from the original game are in the same room. And this guy, but who fucking cares about him? Let's just pretend he's not here. They are at the lowest point they've ever experienced, having been thrown into yet another seemingly unwinnable situation at the hands of the dreaded Monokuma. But despite the fact that they managed to bond with their friends in the first game and stand together as a team to overcome whatever Junko tried to throw their way, they failed to do it this time. They couldn't get the other Future Foundation members on their side. They couldn't convince them that there was a path to victory that didn't involve violence. And because Makoto was the one to lead the charge to freedom and victory in the first Killing game, and was in charge of rescuing the remnants of despair from Junko's alter ego in the second game, he feels solely responsible for how things turned out this time, as if it's all his fault that nobody's reasonable enough to think of a pacifist solution to the problem at hand, and that he might have even been responsible for Byakuya getting buried underneath a mountain of rubble up on the surface, and he begins to doubt the power of his resolve, that maybe he's not as talented as he thought he was, and all this time he might have just been getting lucky. And so, realizing how down in the dumps he's feeling, Kyoko takes off her glove and puts her hand on Makoto's. The glove's tailor-made to fit her hands that she wears out of insecurity because she doesn't want people to see her burn marks. She doesn't want people to see the only visible reminder she has of the time when she was a rookie detective who made mistakes. But in front of Makoto, in front of the closest thing to a friend she's ever had, she allows her walls to fall as she takes off the glove she refused to take off for any other reason so she can feel a more personal connection with Makoto, as she reassures that he is not to blame for this, that his words of optimism are what inspired her to keep going since this all started, and that they need him as a beacon of hope to lead them across the finish line and get them all out of this mess in one piece. It's brilliant. It's immaculate. It's chock full of more character and heart than all of the previous praiseworthy scenes in this show combined. It almost feels like it's too good for this show. Like, I honestly think they might have accidentally written this scene. But however it got here, it's phenomenal. And it's the first time in the entire series that I forgot I was watching a TV show and began to see more than just glimpses of the characters I came to adore back in the first game. Anyway, then we cut back to the Steel Samurai and Matt wanking themselves off about how everybody's dead, so now they can take over the tri-state area, and who fucking cares, let's just move on. Steel Samurai says that he's the pure of heart, but that Matt is not as pure of heart as he, and Matt takes this opportunity to confess the secret he's been carrying with him all this time, but before he gets the chance to do so, the Steel Samurai fucking kills him! No, I am not kidding, I am not lying, this actually happens in the show. Just when they're about to have a genuine heart-to-heart, just when Matt is about to pour his heart out to the Steel Samurai, he stabs Matt in the chest for no reason whatsoever. It's not revenge, it's not anything. It's just a random act of violence. And what is his justification for this?
Despair will pay for making me kill you. That I can promise.
Fucking what? Despair didn't make you do jack shit! You just decided to kill him because you're an asshole! What is wrong with this show? What were you smoking? How high were you when you wrote this shit? There is no logic running through any of these scenes.
Fucking idiot, they explain it later.
No, shut the fuck up. No, they don't. No, they absolutely do not. The scene in which they try to justify this makes no goddamn sense. So you hold on to that thought real tight when we get to episode 10. That fucking episode. Oh, by the way, Veruca saw him kill Matt, apparently. Oops. Just unlucky, I guess. Sucks to be you. So then we get to see how Veruca came to murder Boyfriend. See, the way it went down is like this. Boyfriend placed a bunch of traps to protect Veruca, resulting in her asking him to promise to never betray her, resulting in her leaning out to kiss him, and then passing him a piece of food in the process of kissing him, resulting in triggering his secret achievement of putting food in his mouth. Fucking why? This makes no goddamn sense. He would never betray you. He laced the whole room with a mountain of booby traps he pulled out of his ass, all to protect you. He wasn't gonna do shit to you, and then you have the audacity to beg him to promise to never betray you, and then kill him 2 fucking seconds later? Yeah, you keep cooking up your sweets all the way to hell, you cupcake-haired bitch. Also, what the fuck is this shit? What am I looking at right now? How are you talking fluently when you had to hide this thing in your mouth? What if you fucking missed when you tried to push it into his mouth and it just fell onto the couch? Who wrote this scene? What is happening to the script? Oh, and fucking then he kisses her again, even after his secret achievement is triggered. For fuck's sake. So then then Veruca trips on literally nothing, and then she finally fucking dies. But in all seriousness, I don't have time to celebrate because we are about to witness the most emotionally devastating scene that we've seen in the show thus far. In case you haven't figured it out yet, it has to be the case that Makoto's survival will be the thing that causes Kyoko to die because of a wristband. Kyoko's fate was sealed the moment this game began, and she knows it's only a matter of time before she meets her end. And yet, she is unwavering in the face of death. She spends her final moments letting her friends know just how much they mean to her. Her final words are ones of encouragement as she reminds them that, no matter what happens, they can't ever give up on hope. They are the world's last chance at absolution, and she doesn't want them to lose that determination knowing full well what's about to happen to her. And then, as everyone foresaw, Kyoko meets her end as it is confirmed that her secret achievement was Makoto Naegi managing to survive for 4 rounds in a row. And for the first time in this show, the characters have a chance to be raw. Because it's just them. There's no Still Samurai. There's no Veruca. Nobody. It's just the people we've known and cared about since the first game, mourning together over the loss of their dearest friend. Because there's no way out this time. There's no cheap Deus Ex Monica coming to save the day. Kyoko is dead. It's definitive. It's final. The poison has been triggered. Her fate has been sealed. She laid down her life for Makoto and fought for him to the ends of the earth, still wanting to find the truth even knowing full well she was destined to die, which is something that she may not have done in the first game. She had lived her whole life up until that point where the only person she thought she could depend on was herself, never having anyone she could lean on for support or count on when she needed it the most. The Kyoko of that game would have been willing to sacrifice Makoto's life if it would ensure her own survival, as evidenced by how she treats him at the end of the 3rd chapter. But her experiences over the course of these games have changed her into someone who would never put her own well-being before those of the people she now holds close to her heart. And that part of her personality shines bright like a diamond in her final moments. And watching Kyoko, the person with whom Makoto fought most closely to bring down Junko Enoshima twice. The person whom Makoto was responsible for breaking down her emotional barriers and opening up her heart. And the person who put his own survival ahead of her own. It gives him the last push he needs. The last boost of determination he needed to stand strong and finish this fight as the ultimate hope the world truly needs. This scene is masterful. It's powerful, poignant, and heart-wrenching. So masterfully crafted that it almost makes you forget about everything you've suffered through, even if it's just for a little bit. And so, Kyoko is officially dead. She's gone forever. Unable to be revived. She's been poisoned. Her heart has stopped. She's never coming back. Our heroes are going to have to learn to move on without her, and there's absolutely nothing anybody can do about it. Anyway, back to more bullshit! And let me tell ya, this show is gonna have to dramatically increase the bullshit per second counter to make up for actually having a good scene for once. We pick up the despair arc right where we left off last time, with Chiaki recognizing that she's found Hajime, only that he's no longer the Hajime she knew and loved. But before you can feel the emotion of the scene, we get this shot.
Well, looky here.
And apparently Junko is planning on brainwashing Chiaki? Wait, so you killed Nagito, but you're gonna brainwash Chiaki? Why? Why wouldn't you want as many people to be on your despair team as possible? But before you get the chance to think about that, Athena comes sprinting down the stairs with a fire extinguisher in hand. Where the hell did you get a fire extinguisher from? Did you run back to the school to grab this before running to the statue in the park? Where did you get this from? And then Athena stares at Hajime for way too goddamn long and then proceeds to have a little chat with Chiaki. Stop talking! You are in danger here! You need to leave! What are you doing sitting around talking? And why wouldn't you go with Chiaki? Athena tells her to take Nagito away from here and to leave this to her? What? What are you gonna do? You all should be leaving together. What are you doing? Why would you not want to both work together to carry Nagito out of the room? You have to climb up the stairs while carrying a wounded man to get out of this place. You're gonna put that all on Chiaki and make her carry the weight all by herself? You fucking... And to clarify, the issue isn't that I don't think Chiaki would be strong enough to carry him out of there. Considering their body weights and how much she'd have to shoulder to get him out of there, I have no doubt that even someone who hasn't undergone any sort of athletic conditioning would be able to do it. That's not my point. The issue is that you have a second person right there who could be helping you. She's right there, 2 feet away. Help her carry him out of there, you fucking psychopath. So then Junko monologues about her evil plan to lure all the other students to the space by using Athena as a hostage. Why are you even staying there? All the students are safely out. Just run for the staircase and then call for help. Whatever. We cut back to the classroom where they're talking about how Nagito was captured? What? How could you possibly know that? Shaki's not back here yet. For all you know, he's still out there searching for Mikan. What is this dialogue? Who wrote this? So then Shaki shows back up to the classroom and begins wrangling the classmates to go on a rescue mission for Athena, and they all speak as if they know who Junko is. Why would they know that? Did they play the games too? Also, wait a minute, why are you all back here? Did you just fucking give up on the search for Mikan? What the fuck? Oh, but fear not, everyone, because right on cue, Mikan just happens to show back up to the classroom carrying Peiko along with her. What? You just fucking happened to bump into Peiko? Why were you not down in the animation studio with the rest of the villains? Are you trying to imply that Mukuro brought Peiko to Mikan? Because if so, then you can fuck right off with that bullshit, because there's no way in hell you're gonna get me to believe that the ultimate swordswoman was outwitted in combat by the twit that couldn't figure out how to swing around her fucking sword. Also, where the fuck is John Lasseter? Did he not think it might be a good idea to warn his classmates about the mind-controlling video that they might be led directly into as a trap? Then some random prick hacksaws his own neck off? What is this fucking show? Who wrote this torture porn script? Is this Danganronpa? Am I watching the right show? What is happening anymore? If you can already mind control people into doing this shit, then why do you need a professional animator at all? And I'd like to remind you that this is all happening because the ultimate lucky student's fucking gun jammed. Fuck off! None of this makes any sense! Oh, by the way, it turns out that Nagito's not dead some fucking how, despite being shot in the heart. Even if you try to tell me that the bullet may not have hit his actual heart, the bullet hole is so goddamn close that any kind of shrapnel in that area is not something you want to be dealing with. Nagito warns his classmates that they may die if they try to rescue Athena, and they all instantly clam up with shock. They are stunned by this revelation that Junko may try to kill them. You didn't know that this mission would be dangerous? Nagito was fucking shot, you headless chickens! How is this a surprise to you? So then Chiaki uses the power of words to convince everyone to rescue Athena with an admittedly charming little speech, but then Among Us reveals himself as the imposter? You don't know how to play this game, do you? No, but seriously, why would you give them something completely new, random, and out of left field that has no bearing on the current situation to think about right now? They all just overcame the fear of dying on their mission to rescue their teacher. Why would you rattle them even more with the revelation that you've been lying to them all year long? This isn't the time for this! And then Nagito says,
I knew you'd make the right choice. I never doubted you'd pass the test.
And then Sonya orders Kazuichi to carry Nagito on his back? Why? Why wouldn't you tell the strongest people in the room to do that? Actually, no, scratch that. Why are you bringing him at all? He's been shot near or in the heart. He should be dying as we speak. If nothing else, he's still the victim of a fucking gunshot and he needs to go to the emergency room. You do not need to bring him with you.
An unconscious person will help.
Once again, Mahiro was the only voice of reason in the room. Oh, what the fuck ever. They've all been convinced that they need to save Athena, even though Nagito warned them that they'll die if they try, and so the Loser Club commences the rescue mission. Meanwhile, the Steel Samurai says that Junko Inoshima was the first one to discover the bodies from the massacre? She self-reported. Maybe start your investigation there, you soggy breadsticks.
I need to know what she's hiding.
How about you check the fucking security cameras, you hacks? That should give you a pretty good idea of what she's hiding. How do you not already know exactly what happened from the security footage? You even say that all the evidence points to her. What are you fucks waiting for? How are you all so goddamn stupid? Who wrote this script? We then jump back to Athena being forced to watch people kill each other, but we can see that Athena.exe has stopped working, and so Junko rage quits the game and tells her sister to beat the level for her, which she does by consulting the Prima official game guide for brainwashing. Wait a minute, what? All kidding aside, what the fuck are you reading right now? Did you pick up the fucking beginner's guide to brainwashing at Barnes & Noble? And then, and I am not kidding when I say this, Mukuro lobotomizes Athena. You can hear the sounds of the needles penetrating her skin and skull, and you can see her writhing in pain. I will give credit to the animators and sound designers for doing an incredible job of making you feel her pain with every single squirm and every single sound effect, but the writers of this show need to promptly go fuck themselves. I am watching a fucking lobotomy. What is this show? I was staring open-mouthed at the screen, cringing and tensing up with every extra second that this bullshit dragged on for. Who fucking wrote this torture porn of a script? How do you know how to perform a lobotomy? Also, last time I checked, you said your video wasn't ready for use, and yet somehow now it's ready to go, even though I thought Lasseter was already gone by this point. You didn't even make any changes to the video, it's still just the fucking security footage. And again, the two skill sets you're describing don't match up at all. Eliciting emotional reactions with movie magic does not equate to brainwashing people. Why does this video only work on some people while other people require a lobotomy before it can function properly? Is anybody working on continuity in this script? So then we cut to the Losers Club getting stopped dead in their tracks by the protesters, who are now about to kill the members of the main class so they would open up slots for the rest of them. But before you get the chance to think about the implications of that stupidity, you realize something that's doubly as stupid as that. The protesters didn't just randomly stop protesting at any point. They've been here since the last episode and they haven't ever left. So how did you get around them the first time you left school to go find Mikon? How did you get around them when you came back? Why are they only a problem now? Is anybody working in continuity in this fucking script? Nekomaru and Tanaka decide to fight the protesters. Yeah, that's a great idea. Not like tensions are already boiling and they already all hate you or anything like that. Sure, beat the shit out of them. What could possibly go wrong with this ingenious plan, you fucking tuna sandwich? So much for staying together as a team. How are there still 6 more episodes to watch? Next, we see John Lasseter being chased through the park? When the fuck did that happen? How did we go from you running away from the base and talking to Athena to you being chased by random people? He then proceeds to trip on fucking nothing and is cornered on a circular pad in the middle of a bridge. There were not this fucking many of you 2 seconds ago. How do you keep multiplying? So then Junko shows up to congratulate John Lasseter.
Way to knock it out of the park, Mitarai.
What do you mean he knocked it out of the park? It didn't work on Athena! Your stupid sister is currently lobotomizing her just to make the damn thing work. And what the fuck did he even do? It's just people killing each other. It's literally what we, as viewers, watched happen in this show. It's just the same damn footage we saw in the episode as it happened. And if you think I'm making an overly large deal about this, and I have not made myself clear enough, Junko's entire plan for world domination revolves around the functionality of these videos. The entire Danganronpa timeline is set in motion because of these videos. The whole goddamn series is predicated on the fact that these videos are actually successful in brainwashing people. So you can be damn sure I'm gonna make a big deal out of this. Also, who are all these people? When did she corrupt them? How long has she had an army of minions at her disposal? But then, finally, we get the chance to see Junko face justice as Matt shows up to save the day. Surely there's no way she can possibly BS her way out of this one. Surely when the head of security arrives to arrest you, it's over. You're done. Game over. Your life is done. Surely. Anyway, Lasseter runs through the forest and trips and falls into the river, and so he fucking dies.
Just because I loved anime.
Oh, don't fucking remind me of how this spaghetti chart excuse of a narrative began. He washes ashore on some tiny beach and then tries to climb up a hill but fails colossally and then whines more about how shit he is and who fucking cares. Junko is about to get arrested. Yes! I'm so excited I can barely contain myself. Here we go. I've been waiting all season for this. Wait. What? Why are you challenging her to a duel? 2 seconds ago you said you were gonna bring her to the principal's office. Now you want to kick the shit out of her? What is that gonna accomplish? Turn her in! She needs to be arrested and locked away for the rest of her miserable life, but you just want to cause more violence? What the fuck is wrong with you? Just arrest her! If you want to box someone, then just go play Wii Sports when you get home. Don't fuck around with the person responsible for a student massacre when you have her 2 feet in front of you! There is no point to this. What are you doing? Oh, what the fuck ever. The Losers Club heads down the stairs in their quest to find Athena, but then Mikon stops halfway down the stairway because she needs to talk to Chiaki. She tells her about how awesome she is and how she's the glue that's holding the class together, which we already know, but then she fucking body checks her through a random garbage chute in the wall? What the fuck? It's just a random garbage chute blending into this specific part of the wall for this specific circumstance? And this is only able to happen because for some fucking reason Chiaki was at the back of the pack despite the fact that she's the leader of this little operation and should presumably be towards the front of the pack. And where the fuck are you all going? What happened to sticking together, you headless gnomes? Did nobody hear this? None of you heard Mikon shove Chiaki or the wall panel flip around? Or how about Chiaki screaming for help at the top of her goddamn lungs? No? Not a single one of you. Okay then, fuck the hell off, you dumbass show. So then Chiaki lands in some fancy sci-fi hallway and literally how the fuck could you possibly have the resources to build up all this shit when you've been here like a week? And then Athena wakes her up and leads her to what she believes is a side quest to find her friends, but anyone who's seen any show or movie ever knows that's not gonna fucking happen. But this episode has already broken my brain enough for today. I'm not ready to deal with another round of your fucking bullshit show. I need to go watch... Wait. Oh no. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I hope to see you all later this week for my episode 10 coverage after I've decompressed this nightmare fuel, and we're all gonna have to decompress after that episode. Trust me. Goodbye.